Hey, what's up, YouTubers? So, doing a little repairs on the 24. I broke the servo horn, and I kind of had to jerry rig this one because I've ordered one and it came, it wasn't the right one for the servo that I bought. This servo is, this is the 1RC. Here, like, tell that light is too bright. But anyways, just doing a quick upgrade on this, or repair really. Adding some grease to the axles because my course that I built has a stream, you could say, and a mud pit. So whenever I run any of my vehicles in water or mud, I always bust open the axles, or at least take the diff cover off and clean out the debris with some electrical cleaner. And then I go ahead and apply some more marine grease. This stuff is Quicksilver, so mercury product, and you can buy this at Discount Auto or a West Marine. Really, the blue stuff is the best. This is kind of more like trailer bearing grease, which is fine. It works. It's marine grade grease. It doesn't break down really easily in the water. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick cap on all of the stuff that has been done to this. Now, when you see these on the shelf in the hobby shop or out on the course, they don't really look like there's all that much to them, but they are incredibly detailed and what's the word I want to say, just well equipped. There's a lot more to them than what meets the eye. You know, for example, just the rear axle has 16 different bolts as well. They're not even screws. These are bolts. These are hex drive or Allen drive bolts that hold all this stuff together, holding the bearings in. Let's see if it gets holding the bearings in, the skid plate. All right, great video, right? Holding the skid plate in. Let me take that shine off. There we go. Holding the skid plate in, the shocks, the upper traction bars, and the lower ladder bars or torsion bars. So that's 16 different bolts that are on there just for the rear axle. You know, and if you look all over the vehicle, there's just so much hardware on it. Now this, I've done pretty much everything you can do to this. This is the axial 24, SCX 24. This is the deadbolt. I've also got their Chevy, the C10 pickup, and their Jeep, the JL or whatever the Wrangler is. But this is the one that I've done the most work to. I have the 3-piece RC 4-wheel drive beadlock rims. These are the I forgot what tire these are. Oh, bear with me for a second. Can you guys read? I can't read that. I forgot what tires these are, but they're the best ones, I think, out of all of them. They're from RC 4-wheel drive. Oh man, I can almost not read it. Scramblers. So the RC 4-wheel drive Scramblers, and they are just the best tire. They are large. They're really tall. They're the tallest ones. I mean, here's a quick side by side. There's the stock tire. Bring it to the edge of the table. Here's the stock tire that comes on the deadbolt, and which is the deadbolt and the Jeep come with the biggest tires. The C10 has really small tires on it. I think they are. Nope, those aren't them. Those are some cheapos ordered off the internet. Anyways, they are even smaller than these. If you look at the width, look at the width of the tire as well. There's a big difference there. And also, these are just really stiff. I mean, it's super soft for what they are, you know, for stock tires. They're really soft, no foams. But if you look at these, when you squeeze these together, look at that. So it just, and it's a great compound. They're super sticky, and they just conform to everything that you roll over. They really bite into everything. And just a really good tire. I am running foams in these, and I think I'm going to take the foams out. Because I want more purchase on whatever I'm crawling over. So, yeah, that's just the rims. We've done the Hot Racing shocks. These are the lighter of the springs. They come with another set of springs, which are slightly stiffer. It adds too much resistance to the shocks. It makes the truck really bouncy, and you have to pretty much set the adjustment ring all the way to the top to get any kind of droop out of them. Otherwise, they're just pegged full extension the whole time. Makes the truck not really want to roll and articulate as well as it can. If you have a heavier vehicle, I could see using those would be awesome. But for the SCX 24, I mean, how heavy do you really want to go? You're gonna lose a lot of performance out of it. So I have the Hot Racing Lynx, Hot Racing shocks. I believe this is RC 4-wheel drive aluminum shaft or axle housing, and then inside also are the Axial 4-wheel drive plus 4mm axle shafts, which put the shafts out an extra 4mm out to each side, which widens your footprint, widens your the wheelbase to the sides out, and which by doing that you are lowering your center of gravity because you have a bigger footprint. So your tires are farther out. You can roll farther without toppling over. I have the Hot Racing, right? Is this Hot Racing? Yeah, Hot Racing skid plate or transmission mount, center cross member, whatever you want to call it. Front Hot Racing suspension and links. Front Hot Racing shafts. This is the RC Racing, got a bug on my neck, RC Racing servo. This thing's super strong. And then also the Hot Racing front bumper with the ported holes for the lights. I lost the clevises. It had little red clevises on the front, which looked really cool. I lost them somehow, and also I've been grinding off these on not from rocks, but from doing full throttle forwards and slam it in reverse, and it'll actually catwalk like this for as long as you want to. Kind of does like a reverse endo. What else have I done? Crap, I forgot the make of this motor, but it's the bigger one. Here's the stock motor. You can't really see. Okay, so there's the stock motor, and then here's the upgraded brushed motor that I have for it, and it works great. I mean, it's just super torquey, a lot of good control. The stock ESC that comes with the truck, and I changed the gear inside the pinion and the pinion gear on the motor, and also that drive gear that the pinion runs. They're aluminum, and the teeth are different. I've Forgive me, I can't remember what the gear ratio is on them, but you really only have a selection of one type of gears you can put in this, and so that's the one that I got. As you can see, I did the battery tray delete, which brings my battery down. In the front, it brings it down about 1/4 of an inch, and in the back, I'm lowering it almost 1/2 an inch. And that is, you know, such a help when it comes to crawling and lowering your center of gravity, which is what you want to do. That's what everything is about, is adding weight to the right areas. I got the brass in the back, I have the brass knuckles up front, the aluminum steering linkage up front. I didn't go with the aluminum one, like I said. I couldn't find one that fit and looked good, and really it's above the axles, so all that's doing is adding weight, and you don't want to add weight above your axles. You want to add weight to the axles or lower if you can, which is almost impossible on any truck. I got the 9-gram diff cover up front by Hot Racing. Is that Yeah Racing or Hot Racing? Hot Racing. And also the Hot Racing skid plates on front and rear. And then obviously the tire package, and running the LiPo battery that it comes with. It has plenty of power. You can run, you know, for a good 30-45 minutes crawling around on the course. So what I've done here is just a quick cap of all the parts that came on its stock and that have been removed. So there's everything, and they're all plastic rims. They're super glued on tires, which you never need to glue your tires for crawling if you have bead locks. It just doesn't. I've never spun a tire yet, especially on these little 24s. Got rid of the plastic axle housings, the plastic diff covers, front and rear. This is the front one, and this is the rear. Plastic cross member, skid plate, transmission mount, whatever you want to call it. Got rid of the plastic shocks, which were shorter. These are a little bit longer. They have a longer throw. The body is a little bit taller as well. And another thing that I did is the stock shocks were mounted in this hole right there that my thumb is on. My thumb is kind of big and ugly, so this hole was the original stock shock mount, and I put it back and down onto the only other hole that was available on the frame, and it wasn't even for this. This holds up your ESC tray and everything, so I took that bolt out and put in my own bolt to there. And I did the same thing on the rear. You can see this is the stock shock mount, and all I did was remove the bolt that was just like this one over here, remove the bolt and put the shock down there, and it brings the shock down and forward, which gives you a little bit better travel when the shocks are angled inwards to the truck, because it allows the shock to travel up and back and forward in a lot smoother action. It articulates a lot better. And it also looks a lot better on the course as well. So we did this. We had the shocks. We did not need the hex adapters because these rims have the hex socket on them, and the new RC four-wheel drive rims just have the cut for the axle pin. Another thing that I did on the front, once you change your steering linkage and everything, you're going to have I changed the steering linkage and the plus 4mm shafts, which these are the original ones. These are the front, and the long ones are for the rear. So the new ones are 4mm longer than that on all four. So what happens is when you do that and you do your steering linkage, you change the throw of your steering. You get a much sharper angle uh, of steering degree. And what happens is that inside here, there's a dog bone that fits in, that goes, the axle comes out, the shaft that comes out and has a dog bone on the end, and that fits into the collar of the shaft that goes through. And there's play on there. It doesn't come with spacers or washers. So I made these washers out of some plastic bits that I had laying around. I just kind of grinded them down, put them on, put the wheel spacer on, and then put the pin through. And it took me a couple times of, taking some material off, see if the pin will fit, take it back off, grind it down, put it back on, see if the pin will fit through. And eventually I got it to where this pin fits in there, and it's pretty nice. It's not stiff, which means that nothing's really rubbing that hard, and this the wheel spacer can still spin freely, so I'm not creating any significant amount of drag on the front, anything that I'm going to notice. But the reason I did all that is because with that play on that shaft, you go to turn and the shaft's moving in and out as the dog bone is trying to spin inside that collar, and it binds up, which gives you a clicking noise when you're turning, sharp turning to either direction, and it wants to lurch. So it binds up and then it jumps, and then it turns, binds up, jumps, turns, binds up, jumps, and it was super annoying. And especially when you're trying to crawl over something that is challenging, or something that requires a lot of precise movements, and then your truck just keeps jumping and lurching everywhere, or you're turning and you're trying to crawl over something at the same time, and right when your tire goes to bite and pull the vehicle up, that's when it decides to bind on the axles, and then you lose your power, and then the truck just won't go anywhere. So that was something I did there, and it worked out really well. So now I have full steering angle, both left and right, no binding, no clicking, and she runs really smooth. Let's see. So we have the hub. The front hubs are brass. These are, I want to say, 11 grams. I don't know. You guys tell me. Can you read that? 8 grams. So there's 8 grams plus the 9 grams on the front and back. That's just in brass. And then you have to take into account all the aluminum that I put on there weighs a lot more than the plastic does. And it's more durable. I've dropped this thing from 6 feet up in the air onto concrete. And the worst that's happened is that I cracked my steering horn. And you can see there's a crack to it. I'm still using the servo saver, but it's not a servo saver anymore. There's no play in there. There's no forgiveness. It's just there because it has the spline female receiver that slides over the splined servo gear. So I just used all that and mashed it together, and then put a screw through it to hold it. I'm going to put a dab of super glue on there, and probably on the areas where it meets the servo saver on the horn. So right along that whole crack that goes in between those two pieces, I'm just going to put a little bit of super glue, and I shouldn't have a problem after that. I'll keep rocking this plastic horn until it completely fails and I can't fix it anymore. But so far, this is like the 4th time that I put it back together, and it runs great forever. So this is the stock servo. That's what I've changed. This is the stock motor. That's what I've changed. And there's the stock pinion, and here's the stock drive gear. I don't know what the heck they call that. Putting it in, do be aware that there is it definitely is directional. It has to go on one way or the other, because if you see the base on the center, god dang camera, the base on the center is higher on one side than it is the other. So just keep in mind when you put it back together. The aluminum one I think was the same way, I don't know, but put it together and check your mesh and just make sure that they're both, that the pinion is riding evenly on the drive gear or whatever it's called. I did not do the aluminum transmission case or transfer case housing because it's up too high. It's too high to do to add more weight, so I don't need that there. And I'm not going to lower the ESC either because, like I said, I go through a lot of water, so I know that when water gets to, here's what it looks like. Let's get the body on real quick. Oh my god, this is turning into the worst video ever. Anyways, whatever. I know that once I get water to the top of my fender well, then I should probably think about backing out or not going in any farther. I've completely submerged this. If you do, fret not, peel the sticker off the damn thing. It's double-sided sticky taped to its tray. Take that off, and there are clips all along the side. You see these little clips right here? Get a little flathead screwdriver or whatever, and push those clips in, and you can separate the top and bottom. Unplug your servos. Separate the top and bottom, and then you pull that circuit board out of there. Blast it really well with the electronic cleaner. You can just douse it with that stuff. Let it dry or tap it dry with a rag. Don't like scrub on it because you'll break the soldering on there and you'll wind up ruining your ESC. But just tap it dry with a rag or paper towel and put it right back in. It's good to go. You know, you don't have to put it in a bag of rice or anything stupid like that. Just open it up, spray it off, dry it off, put it back together. You're good. Go get it wet again. Have not burnt it out, have not shorted it out, and it's been freshwater only. Don't take these things near salt water. Don't do anything with RC near salt water unless you have money. Here is the battery tray. Like I said, that sat up way up high, and it just made it very tippy overy. So yeah, that's my video for my upgrades that I've done to the 24. A lot of people do some stuff to the body, add LEDs to the top and whatever. I've left it completely alone. It's just, you don't want to add weight. If anything, I'll be cutting stuff off of the top instead of adding to it. Not like my Gladiator. My Gladiator is super scale and has a lot of stuff on it, and the body of my Gladiator weighs more than everything on this table. But I also have a lot of weight underneath. So yeah, if you guys are still with me, then thank you for watching this, and I hope some of this helps you out. If you could subscribe and like or leave some comments would be nice. No one's commented on any of my videos, and I just want you guys to like me, man. All right, cool. So everyone get out there, stay safe, and rock on.